All right, well, let's go ahead and get kicked off. Want to welcome everybody to the June edition of the Texas Teams Community Meeting. I am displaying down in the bottom a really great feature of PowerPoint, which is the ability for it to have captioning and accessibility engaged. I am translating from English to English, so it is taking my voice and putting the words on English into the captioning here. That is a feature of the click-to-run version of Office Pro Plus, the latest version of Office. And it could actually be translating this into a number of different languages as well. So if I had a primarily Spanish-speaking audience, I speak a little bit of Spanish, but not enough, then I could set it to translate to Spanish real-time as well. And so we're going to be going into many of the features that are part of your Office 365 platform today. And what I'd ask people to do is, if you could please, this isn't as much an eval as it is a sign-in sheet, and so it really helps us to understand who's here. And we also, if you'll either type in that shortcut URL, https://aka.ms/live-event-eval, then or you can hold your smart camera up, your smartphone. Turn your camera on and point it at that QR code, and it will prompt you to open up a website. And that is a form that I created using Microsoft Forms, which is part of Office 365. And we're just asking for a couple things: first name, last name, email address. So that's just to sign in. Asking you to rank if you have previously attended a Texas Teams community, what your thoughts are on a scale of 1 to 10, as well as provide any feedback about what we could do to make this community better. And then also there is a new little box that asks for suggestions on what you would like to hear about in future community meetings. We have a few ideas coming up, but we always want to include the voice of the community. So again, thank you for attending today, and thank you for providing your feedback and your sign-in. So we have a really great agenda today. We're going to talk about some of the latest things that have happened in Teams, as well as some of the latest with regard to the growth of Teams in the state of Texas amongst our Texas agencies. And also, I know that it's being used heavily throughout our educational space and also in our local and county space. Then we're going to be going into Microsoft Stream, which is built into the Office 365 platform. We have one of our great partners that are actually, they have locations here in Austin and throughout the United States, Red River. And two of the really smart guys from Red River are going to be taking us through how you can leverage Microsoft Stream. And then we're going to be talking about Microsoft Planner, which is also built into the Office 365 platform and part of your subscription, that can really help you with organizing yourself, your projects, your teams, and your efforts. And so looking forward to hearing everything that they have to say. So I want to start with saying welcome to the team. We used this slide last month, and we're going to probably just continue to use it because we are experiencing really high growth of teams within the state of Texas. My name, Michael Kennedy. I am the customer success manager for the state of Texas, and my responsibility and sole responsibility is to help the Texas agencies with the use of Teams and really helping them transform through the collaborative capabilities of Teams, as well as many of the other components of the Office 365 platform. So back in May, when we were meeting and we were talking about the growth that we have had, we went from about 7,000 users of Teams to, in May, we had 32,400 active users of Teams, thereabouts. And now on June 6th, as of June 6th, we have 49,175 active users of Teams inside of the Texas agencies. I know it's a lot bigger than that when we include the local and county accounts, as well as our education accounts. And we have people who are attending from those different groups. So want to say thank you again for all of you who are using Teams. It is a really exciting platform. We're getting a lot of positive feedback. And again, just really appreciate you being a customer of ours, attending this community meeting, helping to share the word with your coworkers, and just being a customer of Microsoft. So As you guys know, with Office 365, Microsoft is on a continuous evolution, rolling out new features. And some of you who are state agencies are in what's called a commercial tenant, and then some of you are, and most of you, the majority, are in what we call government community cloud, or a government tenant of Office 365. So last month we had a rollout of 3 great features: private channels, one-day retention, and then the addition of third-party applications into the Teams ecosystem in the GCC. Those of us who are in the commercial cloud get features a little bit earlier, but we are accelerating the pace of innovation into the government community cloud, and really shortening that gap of time between when a feature rolls out and when we have it available to our government customers. So this month, most of you will probably have recognized new features. One is called Raise Your Hand. When you're in a Teams meeting, if it's a large meeting, you can click the Raise Your Hand icon, and it'll indicate to the presenters and to anybody in the meeting that you have your hand up and you'd like to say something. It's also a great way to just do a sort of ad hoc vote. We also have now custom backgrounds, and so you can set a custom background to be a blur, or there's a whole bunch of different scenes. There's a beach scene, there's forest scenes, and so this is just my house. I'm sitting on the back porch, enjoying the not too ridiculously hot weather yet. And so you can set a background so that for all of us working at home, so you don't have to see what's behind you, including kids and dogs and wives and spouses and husbands. And so that's a nice feature to sort of shield the background, and it does use artificial intelligence to just see you, and everything else is an artificial background that of your choosing from the list that is provided. The other thing has been something that's been highly requested, which is the ability to have more video on a screen. Now, I think we may have talked about this last month. It is now officially released, and so you can have now up to 9 videos going at the same time. And we are not planning on having much more than that, if any more than that. We find that for meetings, that if you have too many more than that, it's really just pretty distracting. And so, but there is a roadmap, and there's a link right here to the roadmap, and I'll be sending out slides afterward through Joy Hall Bryant to the community, and so you can click on that and see the roadmap. It's not 100% accurate, I will tell you now, but it does project things that are coming, and you can also work with your technical account manager through your unified contract on what else is coming. So just real quick, I want to blaze through each month. I want to cover some of the training options that are available. So inside of Teams, if you go into the lower left-hand corner and click Help, and you click Training, then there is a lot of articles and links that are available to you there. And then there is also this link here to the Microsoft Teams interactive demo. It's a great about 10-minute demo that shows off most of the features of Teams. We also have a portal that is available that you can run in your own SharePoint environment that is an interface to the Office 365 training, and so you can just click right here. I know several of our customers are running this portal and are really getting a lot of use out of it, and the admins get to choose which of the videos and documents and training are available and which products are there. So if you don't have a particular technology rolled out yet, then you can keep that hidden until it's rolled out, so that people aren't asking a bunch of questions about something that they don't have access to at this time. We also have the Microsoft Store. We've had really a lot of success with the CST, Customer Success Training Program, and Frank Demiri from the store is going to be speaking with us today about Microsoft Planner. And so again, invite you to make inquiries, and the store can come out and, or actually not come out, but do a virtual training for you that's customized to your environment. And they do a fantastic job getting great feedback, and this can be across a huge variety of topics, including Teams, and that can be Teams 100 level, 200 level, as well as talking about Planner and Power BI and Power Apps and lots of things in their curriculum that they have available is always increasing. So again, welcome you to reach out. You can reach out to me and request information about that if you're one of the leaders in training in your organization. We also have, I'll send you out the link to this again. This is, I showcase this each time. As more and more people use Teams, it's always great to figure out the 5 embarrassing things that people do using Teams and avoid doing them. So it'll really show you, it's a pretty funny, it's a third party that did this, pretty good video on what not to do when using a Teams meeting, especially if you're using video. There's also a book called Adopt and Embrace Microsoft Teams. So this is more for management, about helping your organization and your employees adopt Teams as a new way of work and working more effectively together. This is available on Amazon or through your booksellers. And then lastly is the team sponsored training. So I want to thank, I should have done this at the very beginning, I want to thank the DIR. They have always been a great partner for us with regard to training, and Joy Hall Bryant with the DIR. They partner with us on this community, and I really appreciate her sending out the notifications about this. Well, we partnered with the DIR and one of our partner companies named Vitalist to provide Teams training, and that's no charge. It was going through the 1st of June through the 15th. So if you have not heard about it yet, there are still classes that are available just for a few more days. And it's getting started with Teams, Teams for intermediate users, and then creating and managing Teams. And then we also have one for your IT staff, which is Teams for IT administrators. And again, we would request that that's just for agency IT staff. But if you are an administrator of Teams, or you're going to be, then that's a great training that's available to you at no charge. So now, without further ado, let's go ahead and hand this over to our friends at Red River to talk about Stream, and we'll have them introduce themselves. And let me just cue them up. All right, Brian and Nate, are you guys ready?
I am. Thanks a lot, Michael.
Okay, and do you want me just to share your screen, or you got your video? Okay, there you go. You've already got it up there. All right. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Nate.
All right, great. Thanks for joining, everyone. My name is Brian Charles. I'm a design architect for Microsoft Solutions at Red River. My colleague is on the phone as well. His Nate Venzel. He's a team lead for our enterprise applications. The people that work for him, they actually go into the field, help different agencies, organizations get different Microsoft solutions up and running. So I promise I'm not going to kill you with PowerPoint. I do have a little bit of a presentation that I put together, but it's mainly just to kind of keep us on track and go into a visualization portion when I'm talking about how channels and groups and stuff work inside of Teams. But most of this is going to be live demo, because that's just really the best way to show how you can quickly start utilizing Stream, getting it in front of the different members of your agencies, and kind of spreading out information as needed. So the quick agenda, we're just going to answer a few questions. What is Microsoft Stream? And some of you guys may have some experience with it, but really get into when did it come out, what it's really used for. We're going to get into the live demo. And while we go through this, we're going to be answering questions as we can. Part of this Teams live event, there should be a question and answer box. If you go ahead and put any information, maybe there was something that you had a question about, a clarification. We have moderators that are going to be answering the questions, and then afterwards I'll loop back around and go through and potentially answer any questions that we may have missed. So what is Microsoft Stream? Microsoft Stream is a secure video, enterprise video service. It's a bit of an evolution from what used to be inside of the Office 365 suite with Microsoft Video. And really, as times went on and features needed to be increased, around 2017, Microsoft started making a shift into Microsoft Stream. And it really is high quality. It's a high quality video service. It has permissions that you can put inside of it, so it will respect the groups and things that you've done. So unlike another service like YouTube, where anyone who's joined your channel, they can go ahead and see everything. You're able to narrow down the type of content that you want people to see, whether it be a small group of people or whether it be the entire organization as a whole. It has absolutely fantastic integration with other Microsoft services. One of them being the most popular of it is the video recording service for Teams live events and Teams meetings. So anytime you're in a Teams meeting and you hit that record button, that recording gets stored up into Microsoft Stream for later consumption or use. And the difference between recording something from a Teams meeting versus what we used to do over in Skype for Business is that's actually a cloud-based recording. So it's happening from the cloud instead of recording on the device that whoever clicked the record button is recording on. And some very good advantages of that is inside of the cloud-based recording, if the local workstation is having some form of bandwidth issues or it falls off of the meeting, that recording isn't lost because it's being stored directly inside of the cloud. There's some customization that you can do to it to organize your content based off of various topics or maybe specific agencies or messaging from the leaders of the organization can be in different channels, so that when you're looking for something, you can go right to the parts of information that are relevant to what you're trying to access. Again, controlling the access with new or existing groups. So if you have a lot of groups and you're starting to get some adoption utilizing Office 365 groups, you can use the same groups that are already there in order to control the content and how you're doing it in. Fantastic feature that's inside of it, just like Michael was showing us earlier, where the AI is taking real-time dictation and translating from English to English. You get auto captions in your videos inside of Microsoft Stream. So if and that will come with a transcript and a timeline with it. So if there was a particularly long meeting where you knew there was a subject in that meeting that you wanted to get back and rewatch, but you didn't remember where the timestamp was and you didn't feel like watching an hour meeting or clicking around to find it, you can go into the transcript, do a quick search, and it'll take you directly to that time frame. And the most important, just like a lot of the other features that we're talking about today, this is included in your Microsoft 365 licensing today. So there isn't any uplift or anything. It's just about adoption and training and getting that rolled out inside of your agencies. So before we flipped over to the live demo, I wanted to kind of give a quick visualization on the groups. I'm sorry, that went back. Let me go back. A quick visualization of the groups and channels relationship. So groups and let me do this. I apologize. So groups and channels are a little bit different. Again, channel is how you contextualize your data, and a group is how you have permissions on the data. So channels aren't going to be for specific users, it's for specific topics. And inside of groups and channels, you have company-wide content, and then you have private content. In company-wide content, this is where things that everyone can see. So you have your ad hoc videos that someone uploaded. Everyone in the organization has the availability to see it. And then you can have channels that aren't necessarily associated to any group for different topics. Now, groups inside of company-wide content are using your Office 365 groups in the same way that you have private groups versus public groups, where a private group, only people who are in the group can see and discover that content. But in a public group, everyone can see that content. It's still respected the same way. So keep that in mind. Just because you assigned a channel or a video into a group doesn't mean that content isn't necessarily discoverable. It does mean that those are the only people who are contributing to that content in there. But if you want to make sure you lock it down, you want to go ahead and flip it over to a private group. And inside the private content, we also have the ability to just have the information for our private videos. So if I've uploaded a video, it doesn't have to be shared out. I could be the only person who has access to that, or another person in the organization who I also wanted to have access to it as well. So it doesn't have to be a part of a channel or a private group in order to control that access. Now, let's flip over to the browser real quick. So a lot of you guys, when you log into Office 365 for the first time, this is your welcome page. And right here in the list of applications, you'll see Stream. But if you haven't ever clicked it, it might not be there. It's easy enough. You could just click on all apps and go ahead and get into Stream. When you first log into Stream, you get your Stream welcome page. If you haven't hit do not show this again, this is some helpful information, some videos that Microsoft has put together for us about what we can do to Stream and how we can utilize it. So it'll teach you how to upload, find content and stuff like that. Scrolling down, we'll see some trending videos inside the organization, as well as different popular channels. So similar to the way YouTube does and how if content is being viewed more and more often, it might be more relevant for additional people in the organization or in the agency. So then it'll bring that content to the surface to allow people to go ahead and utilize it. If you click over into a video, what you'll see is a screen that is very similar to a standard type of a video service that we're using today. But there's some additional things that you might not necessarily get. So over here on the right, this is the transcript that I was talking to you about. And all this was done automatically by Microsoft, just uploading this video and making sure that the video had the auto captions turned on, put together this transcript and went through. And again, if this was a long meeting, we could go ahead and search for a particular subject or a particular thing inside of it, and it'll take us directly to it. Clicking on inside this transcript will take us to where we were inside the video, so you're not hunting and pecking around trying to figure things out. Now, one of the things that you might notice is there's a more actions ellipses, and there isn't that many options here. So you do get different options depending on if this is a video that you are the owner of versus this is a video that has been you have access to. If you're an admin of the tenant, in the top right at any time, you can go ahead and switch it into admin mode, which will give you additional options for those videos to be able to do some things with it. For example, in that transcript that I put in, the transcript that's here, maybe the auto captions didn't put it correctly. So there's some additional things that you might have to go in, or there's some language that you might have to change. You can come inside of here, modify that language on the fly, and then it'll also go ahead and update the closed captions that are inside of the video. Now you see that I'm in admin mode, or you would also get these options as well, is if this was a video that you had uploaded. I have a lot more options instead of just linking channels, groups, and adding this to a group or channel. I have update video details, trim video, replace the video, delete it, or download it. Download is a very handy feature if there's some additional producing that you wanted to do to the video. So remember, this is the default location that video is stored inside of Office 365. So if I've recorded a Teams meeting or a Teams live event, and I want to do some modification to that before I re-upload it into the cloud for distribution to the organization, I can always just click download here to go ahead and do it. If you needed to do minor updates to it, but you didn't necessarily have to download, like maybe adding some or taking away some white space at the beginning or the end of the video, right in from the cloud, there's a trim video button where you can go inside and then move your sliders to modify the video on the fly without having to download it and without having to take it into another application. In addition to being able to trim your videos, there are some additional video details that you can go ahead and modify about it. So here you can always update your name. You can update the name and the description. Also choose your thumbnails. You can put custom thumbnails if you want. See who's allowed to see this video. So the box is checked to allow everybody, so everyone's allowed to see it. And you'll see some features inside of here. And one of the things about all the Microsoft products is new Microsoft features are coming out all the time. So this noise suppression one, it might not be in your tenant, but look forward to additional features like that. For example, this noise suppression, if it's in your tenant, it'll use its AI to cut out background noise inside of those inside the videos that have been uploaded. Auto-generating caption file was the option that we saw for the closed captioning, but you also have the ability to download the caption file and do bulk edits to it if you wanted to not have to go through the transcript and modify it there. You also have the ability to upload additional caption files for other languages and things like that. So how do we get content into Office 365 into Microsoft Stream? We've already talked about how to get Teams meetings and other content, but over here under in the search bar, you'll get create. And from here, you can just click upload video. And it's just a matter of dragging and dropping a video file into the browser. So the length of time this takes, obviously, it depends on the size of the video. And then after it's been completely uploaded, Microsoft is going to go ahead and process that video. During the processing phase, you can go ahead and change other things like change the permissions, share it with different groups, add it to different channels. And then some of the options that we've already seen, like may allow people to make comments on it, noise suppression, generating a caption file, and so on. So once this reaches to 100%, Microsoft will go ahead and let you know that your video is complete and ready to be published for anyone else. There's other ways that you can add additional add content into Microsoft Stream as well. Directly from the browser, you have this record screen button. So if you need to create content, so something hasn't been processed before and you don't have a screen capturing utility on your computer, directly from the cloud, you can click on that, allow it to use your video and camera, and click the record button. There is a 15-minute time limit for this, but typically if you're just kind of doing an ad hoc video, you're not going to run over the 15 minutes, but this is just a fantastic way to get content inside of Stream very quickly without having to have other applications and things like that. Another extremely handy way to go ahead and get content into Microsoft Stream is to use some of the other utilities that it's integrated with. Here I'm using Microsoft PowerPoint. And just like every Microsoft application, Microsoft puts a lot of time into making sure that the applications and everything work together. So inside of PowerPoint, what you'll notice is a recording tab. And if you don't see the recording tab, you can just simply click on File, Options, and then click on Customize Ribbon. So inside the Customize ribbon, you'll see these options over here. Simply click Recording, and then that will show that tab there for you. Now, if you wanted to do a presentation and get it uploaded into the cloud, you now have the Recording tab. You can click the Record Slideshow. It'll bring you into this other screen, and you'll be able to click Record and then walk through your PowerPoint. Now, one of the things that's so great about this is as you're walking through the PowerPoint, it's timing you, it's making sure that the recording's in. Down here, you have the ability to just choose what kind of media you want to send to it. Do I only want my microphone? Do I also want to show my video? And when you're done your recording, each of these videos, for every time you click to the next PowerPoint slide, that actually shows that's actually a little miniature video. So up in the clear, you'll see clear recordings on the current slide or clear the recordings on all slides. So if you've done your presentation and you like the way that you've done almost everything except those a couple of slides where you did some stammering or some stuttering, and you go, oh, I wish I could just redo that portion, you have that ability to be able to go ahead and do that. You'll also notice that after you've done a recording for your PowerPoint, that you have your little video recording here. So here's another place without going into the recording screen that you can just go ahead, hit play, see how you did, and you can even just delete it right from here. If you wanted to move yourself around, you could. You just put it wherever you want. Once you're happy with your presentation, on the recording slide, hit Publish to Stream. You'll be able to go ahead, name it, choose some permission settings right from here, and there's even an option to upload the original PowerPoint video. So once you hit publish, it's going to start creating the video and uploading that into Stream for you. So now if we go into Stream and the video is uploaded, if you want to go ahead and take a look to see how it is, you just simply go to My Content, Videos, and then click on the video that you uploaded. You'll be able to make any changes or modifications that you needed, that you wanted to do after the fact here. And then what's so handy about publishing a video from PowerPoint is I checked that box to upload it. That PowerPoint file now lives inside the cloud with it. So if later on someone is reviewing this presentation that you put together, they'll be able to download that content directly from the cloud and take it with them. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to my colleague, Nate, who's actually going to show a little bit more deeper integrations than some of the stuff that I showed you today.
Thanks, Brian. Let me share my screen real quick, and we will get rolling. All right, so I'm going to start from Stream. This is a channel, kind of as Brian mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, showing the difference between groups and channels and all that stuff. This is actually a channel that can be navigated to from just the Stream homepage. It's called Human Resources Media. So I have two videos here. Welcome to Guntoso and a town hall that was conducted last month. And I just want to talk some about the integration on a similar tangent that Brian spoke to. The integration with the different applications and tools within Office 365, specifically tools, Teams, and SharePoint. So you see, I have my my two videos here. I'm going to open up Town Hall highlights. This was a meeting that we conducted last month to talk about just kind of a annual State of the Union for the company, and I want this readily available to everyone in the company, so that if they access the human resources homepage for that site, they'll be able to watch it and watch the highlights and kind of get what they need, the key points to the meeting. And as you can see, all this has the same the features that Brian talked through. So you see we have the captioning, we have the tools down here if we wanted to use them, but I'm not going to focus on that because Brian just spoke to it. So I'm going to navigate over to my HR site. You see I have the standard SharePoint communication site. I'm going to hit edit and scroll down to this blank web part zone. I'm going to hit plus. And I can scroll down to find the Stream web part, but I also just have this handy dandy search bar right here. So I'm just going to type in Stream, select that, and then in the edit, in the web part editor, you see I have a couple different options. By default, the source is set to all Stream. So this pulls in all the videos across the tenant, and I have some paging that I can sort through and look for things, but I'm actually just focused on a single video. You also see that I can focus this down to the channel level, but I would just want a single video for right now. I think I copied this earlier, but I'm just going to do it again. Copy the URL, paste it in, and you see it automatically refreshes to have the video embedded. Additionally, if I wanted to, I could have it start at a specific point in time. So I'm going to set it to start at, this isn't a very long video, so I'm going to have it start at 10 seconds. You see it refreshes to where that point in time. I'm going to X out of that, hit republish, and as you can see, the video is now presented on the HR homepage, so users can just scroll to it, hit play, and off they go. However, if I'm in the human resources department, we have a team, we collaborate together on content, I might want to have the Stream videos readily available to me within the Teams interface. That way I'm not right now I'm in the web version of Teams, but if I was on the desktop client, I wouldn't need to navigate into Office 365 to the website and look at the files there. So I'm going to add this as a tab, add our HR media channel to as a tab in Teams. So I'm going to hit the plus button. Again, I can search for it like I did for the web part, but you see it's all of the Office 365 apps are prominently displayed at the top of the page. So I'm just going to select Stream from here. And then when there, whoop, of course it never works. All right, cool. So I'm going to back it right back out to the Human Resources Media channel. Again, copy the URL for it, and then just post it. Paste it in here, select that from the dropdown. By default, the tab name will match the channel name. I can change it if I'd like, as well as you see if I'd select, I have two radio buttons, I can select and post a specific video or a channel. I'm going to post the channel for right now. And then down here, again, you have a checkbox for just making a brief post that the tab had been created. So I'm going to hit save. It's going to set it up. Here we go. Now I have my stream videos from this channel directly available to me in the team, in our HR team, as well as in case anybody, just for anybody who accesses this team, an alert is made that the tab has been added to the channel. The last thing I want to talk through real quick is actually not how Stream integrates with applications, but how actually other applications within Office 365 integrate with Stream. So if I go back to our Town Hall highlights, open up the video, I'm going to pause that so it doesn't keep playing. I have my transcript, but I also have this tab over here that says interactivity. If I click that, I can add a form. And actually, I have a form open right in one of these other tabs. And it's just a simple submit a question to the presenter form. You see, I have a multi-line text box for the question and kind of some details for what the user might want to know. I have a text box for their email address so the presenter can respond to them and get back to them with an answer to the question. And then I have just a rating, a simple rating system for the presentation. So the presenter can take some feedback and tailor his or her next presentation to based on the input here. So I'm going to navigating back to my Town Hall highlights video. I'm going to add a form. And you see it's somewhat similar to how to add the stream to the channel in Teams. Is that all we need is URL? I'm going to go copy this one from right here and paste it in. I'm going to give it a name that says Ask the Presenter. And I'm going to I want this towards the end of the video, so I'm going to have this start at the 17-second mark. And you see position in timeline, it automatically defaults to wherever I drag the slider to. So if I hit add to timeline, you see it now I have the form. If I play the video, I'm going to mute that just in case it bleeds through. One thing you'll notice here already is a little dot on the video timeline that if I hover over it says Ask the Presenter. If I hit play, you see once it hits that mark, I receive, whoop, I think I put it a little bit too far on the video, but it will automatically open up the form. It's taken a little bit of time, so I apologize, but once it opens up, I'll be able to, here we go, enter my question, enter my email address, and then unlike the form, how it has all three of the categories that you can select available to you, this kind of collapses everything. So I can open up presentation quality and just give it the grades or ratings that I would like. I can select a checkbox to send me a receipt of my responses, and then I can hit submit. I need to put my two questions in, or my email address in, but I won't do that for right now. So that's just an example of how just the seamlessness of how Stream and the other Office 365 applications integrate with each other and work together out of the box. I don't need to, with the SharePoint side of things, I don't need to write any JavaScript or custom code to embed the video on the page. I don't need to do anything fancy to implement to make the channel available in my team, nor do I need to do anything really all that fancy other than knowing how to use Control-C, Control-V on my keyboard to embed a form directly into my stream video so people can leave me feedback and help leave some valuable information that we can use for further presentations. So with that, I know we're coming up on time in our part, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen and turn it back to Michael and the audience in case there's any questions.
Brian and Nate, thank you so much. We did a practice session, but I learned something again today. So thank you. It's always amazing to me how many little features and things behind the scenes are. And so we'll have to concentrate on more training for myself and for everybody. there are questions that are coming in over here in the Q&A, and so we'll continue to answer those. But what I'd like to go ahead and do now is, let me share my screen real quick here, and I'm going to turn off the captioning. So earlier I had the captioning turned on through PowerPoint, but what that meant was that there was captioning for PowerPoint, and then there was also captioning that was coming through the live event. So that was a little confusing. So sorry about that for y'all. And let me. Okay. So next up, we're going to have Frank Demiri. Frank is with our Microsoft Store, and he is one of your trainers that is part of the customer success training. And he is going to be talking to us about Planner and how we can use Planner. So Frank, take it away, please.
How is everyone doing today? Welcome to the call. My name is Frank Demary. I'm one of the assistant store managers of the Store 11 store here in Austin, Texas. So I might have worked at some of the people here before. And today we're going to hop directly right into Planner. First, I want to go through and talk a little bit about what Planner is. So let's go to our next slide. So Microsoft Planner. Planner takes the chaos out of teamwork and gets more done. Planner makes it easier for your team to create new plans, organize, assign tasks, share files, and get updates on progress. Organize visually, transparent tracking, and auto reminders. And we also have these 6 different things that it's going to impact your workflow. Get organized quickly, easy to use, organize visually, work together with visibility and transparency, collaborate around tasks, automatic email notifications, and work across devices effortlessly. So we're going to actually hop out of this PowerPoint. As you see, I'm actually inside of a PowerPoint inside of Teams. So I'm utilizing Teams to present that PowerPoint, but we're actually going to we're going to go to our portal. So if you'd like to follow me through this, you can go to portal.office.com, and we're going to go into our main portal right here. So if you go into this portal on Office and you log in with your account, you're going to see all of the different Office programs that are inside your license that your organization has access to. So if we actually click on all apps here, we can get a rundown of everything that we have access to. For today, though, we're going to use Planner, and that's what we're mainly going to hop into. So we'll click on Planner, and as you see, it opens up another window. So now we're in our plan. We're in our Planner, and there's a couple of different options that you see here. On your left-hand side, you're going to see your navigation pane. So you have an option to make a new plan. You have a Planner Hub, which will show you all the planners of all the teams that you're a part of, as well as recent plans. I currently don't have any recent plans because I haven't made one, but we're going to go ahead and make them. We're going to make one today. I also have my tasks, which are tasks that are assigned directly from me from all of my planners. I have favorites, and then I have more plans, was that same window you saw before. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop in and we're going to make a plan, and we're going to go through this together. So when I click make a new plan, you're going to see there's a couple different options that pop up. One pops up for a plan name. So we're going to call this project. Now below that, you actually see where it says add to an existing Office 365 group. If you already have an Office 365 group or team, because a team is considered a 365 group, if I click this, I can actually select one of them and connect that to that group already. So it'll actually assign it directly into that team or group. The other option you have is public or private. For this one, we definitely want to do private because it's for our organization, right? You can do a public one, but anyone in your organization will automatically be able to join into there. We don't want that. We want to make it an actual private planner. And then we have our options down here, which just gives you a brief description where if you used Teams before, I'm pretty sure everyone here is starting to use currently right now, group description just gives you a little description of what that plan is going to be for. So I'm going to click create a plan. And in the background right now, it's actually going to create our plan for us together. So I'm going to hop directly into the plan. And now I see a couple of different things right here. So one, I actually see that I have a section where I can make tasks. And up top, I actually have buckets. So that's what these are called. These sections are what we call buckets. So it actually says add a new bucket. So when Planner first opens up, it creates like a basic to-do list, but I could rename this if I want. If I click on here, maybe I just don't want a basic to-do list. Maybe I want this as a different category, like devices. I can do that, or I could even make it projects, and I could change the name there. But let's get to adding some tasks to here. So right here on the add task option, if I click on this, as you see, a card pops up, and that's what these are called. These are cards, and I could actually name the task. So we're in projects. Maybe I want to set a task for update project on Friday. And excuse me for my awful spelling, but maybe I want to set a task for update project on Friday. Now I could set a due date for when this needs to be due. Well, I put it in the title, but we'll say Friday. And I could also assign it to different people. Now, right now in this planner, it's just myself, but anyone else that would be part of this planner, I could assign it to anyone else that I want to. For today's demo, we're just going to assign myself, Megan, to this. Now, what I've noticed is I still have add a task here because that task isn't created yet. Until I press this tab, it's not made. So I'm actually going to press add a task, and now it moves down here. And this is a card where it shows me the date, who's assigned to it, and then also the subject of that task. But I want to get a little more in depth. Maybe I want to add files and comments. How would I do that? Well, what I would do is I would actually click directly inside the card, and boom, the card's going to open up, and it's actually going to show me a bunch of different info. So one, I can adjust the buckets that I would like it in. Right now, I only have one bucket, but don't you worry, we're going to create some more buckets together. I also can set the progress of it, if it's in progress or it's completed. Maybe it's a very urgent task. Maybe I want to set it as urgent or important. Just like in Microsoft Teams, where it would set a notification every couple of minutes, that's the idea behind here. You would actually receive an email notification the particular person would for the person that's assigned to it. And I could even lower the priority for it if I have something that's more medium or high, lower, important, or urgent. Now, right here, I could even add notes to it. Maybe if I want to add Kelly, please update the spreadsheet. Now, I can say maybe put a note in there that I want Kelly to update the spreadsheet. But what you notice is it's not on the card currently. That's what this option here is for, show on a card. And if I actually click that, it'll actually show that directly on the card. Now, that's a quick note. And if I wanted to type more in here, this box actually expands out and I can type a whole paragraph, 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs. Doesn't matter. It's a limited amount of text, but there's only a limited amount of space on the card. So for them to see the additional info, they actually have to click on the card, open up the card, and see that extra info. Now below that, you might say, well, Frank, there's a checklist option here. So if maybe it's more task oriented, like maybe I need them to go into a certain file, for the spreadsheet, upload file 1, I can actually set up tasks. And now there's an option where I can actually show my checklist on that card. So if I click show on card here, there's actually now an upload file 1 task within the one major task. So it's called a checklist. So the objective of this task is to update project on Friday, but maybe there's subtasks that my team needs to accomplish so that main task is completed. And that's what I would do with the project. That's what I would do with adding additional checklist options here. Now, when you see notes here, even though the notes are no longer on the card, doesn't mean they disappear. But because the card obviously you see that on a planner card, it's not very big. You can only choose to have either checklist or notes on that particular card. Now, when we scroll down, we even see attachments. So if I want to add an attachment, I can add a file. I could add a link, maybe from Teams, or I can even add a SharePoint. So I can click on SharePoint right here, and it will actually go through my SharePoint documents if there were any, and I could add it directly there. For this demo, though, we're going to click on File. And as you see, it pops open my File Explorer. I could now just add this Teams 200 file that I have as I do my demos, and I'm going to attach that file to there. So what this is doing is it's actually uploading this file into your team. So say this is attached to your Microsoft team and it's in your general channel, right? It's attached to that channel, this planner. This is actually going to upload that file directly into that channel. So remember, any files that you're attaching directly to this planner, other people will have access to, whoever has access to that general channel. Now, we could even create comments back and forth. Me and my team could even have a conversation on what's going on with that task. and we can have a conversation in between. As you see before, it shows me that the task was created, but it also shows our commentary in between that task. Now on your right hand side, you're also going to notice that there's a couple different tags right here. Now they say pink, red, yellow, green, blue, but I could actually hop in, I could left click right on top of the tag, and I could actually rename them. So if I want to name this, I could name this work, project, and for so keep on going down, I could name them whatever I want. And what's nice about this is if I select work, what you're going to notice is right behind here, it actually color codes the task meant for work, right? So you can color code the tasks depending on what situation it calls for, or maybe for what part of your job, or for work or for home, depending how you utilize Planner. You could utilize Planner as a daily to-do list or for your team. And it's going to make your team more productive because you could assign different roles and different aspects to your entire team. Now, we went through the option of actually creating a task, adding an attachment to the task, commenting, color coding the task. Now I would like to add additional buckets. Well, right on here, if I click on add a new bucket, I could change the bucket name. I could add a new one. I could add surface. I could even go in here and I could add PC. And as we add the buckets, you see it just keeps going for far and far over to the right. You could keep on going. There's no limit as to buckets. And as you keep adding your buckets, it will just allow you to scroll back and forth throughout your page. So we're able to create our buckets and we're able to make our tasks. We can even drag our tasks. Maybe this task needs to go from projects to surface. I could just drag that task over. Maybe I have a task. I want to copy this task because I have someone else that has to do a similar task and I don't want to have to go into new task and make it all over again. Maybe I want to copy this particular task. I could actually click directly on more options right here. And you're going to see there's a couple of different options. One is copy task. And this is one of my favorite ones. I could copy the task name or I could even rename it. Maybe I could just say update project. It doesn't need to be due on Friday. But I can move this to a different bucket. We'll move it to PC. And I want to get all the info. I want to get the dates. I want to copy the progress. I want to copy the assignment. I want to copy everything about that task to someone else, right? To create a duplicate of that. I select all of my options. I click copy and boom, I've actually made a copy of that task. Now I have a copy and I can assign this to someone else. But right now I'm Megan and there's no one else inside of my planner with me. Well, I can come directly up here right next to Megan, and I'm going to click on members. And right now I could add additional people into here if I need to. So if I need to add maybe like Adele, I can add Adele directly into, and as you see, she's been added to the planner. Now these are all demo accounts, and as you see, I didn't actually have to type in their full name because it's connected to your Microsoft team and your global address list. So as you start typing in a name, it's going to automatically produce that name for you, or it's going to try its best depending how many people are inside of your organization. I could even put Grady in here if I like. And as I start typing Grady's name, now Grady is also a member inside of this particular team, inside of this particular planner. So we've created our buckets. We've also created a couple of tasks. Let's go through a couple of the options that we have on top. So we have charts. So charts allows me to get analytical. So it could actually let me see my status of what's started, what hasn't started, what's in progress, what's late, what's completed, the buckets that I have, and what tasks are inside of those buckets. How many priorities do I have in urgent or important or medium or low? And the members inside my planner, who's assigned to that? So right now I have one task assigned to Megan, so that's why I chose one. But if I start assigning tasks to Dell Grady, they will also show up directly below there. And what's nice is it even takes my tasks and it still puts them to the side here. So as I walk through and I go through this status, this chart, maybe if I want to change this task to Adele, I could easily just go in there, add Adele, and now I can click right here where Megan's face is, and I could remove Megan from that task. And as you see, it's live, doing it right now in front of us, live and in color. It's removing the people, and it's doing it through a live action, updating analytically, excuse me. And I even have a schedule option where I could see a monthly schedule. So I can see that right now I've only scheduled my particular tasks, my tasks that I have scheduled for on Friday, right? That's all I have currently right here. But maybe I like this view better. I'm not a really big fan of the board view. The board view is kind of messy, and I really just want to look at a calendar, right? Well, I can choose a day here. I can actually click directly on the plus icon, which is add a task. Whenever you see a plus on Planner, it's going to be adding a task. And then I can click right here and enter the name of the task. So I can say update devices. I can also choose the category. So maybe it's in PC, Surface, or Project. I could say it's on Surface, update devices. I could choose my due date right here. And I could say, we'll say on a Tuesday. I could assign the people that I want to, like I did before. We'll assign Grady to it. And I could assign multiple people to this task as well, like Adele. And what else I can do is once I click add task right here, you see how it just populates? And if I want to get more advanced options like I did earlier, I could just left click on the calendar and I could go into here and I could do everything that I did before by creating tasks inside this calendar view. So depending on what view you really like better, maybe you like to see it as a window that's crossing and you get to see all your buckets, or maybe you like to see it as a calendar view. You also have this option here. Now, next to schedule, there's 3 little dots. And the one thing you'll learn as you go through, and maybe even know now, 3 little dots mean more, and it always means more options, right? Because those are the ellipses in Office, in Teams. That means more options. And if I click on there's a couple of different things that we have here. So one, this says add to favorites. So what am I adding to favorites? That doesn't really explain what this is. So if I click add to favorites, this adds my plan to my favorites. You see how there's a star there now? So that star allows me to go to my favorites, and now I can quickly access the plans that are my favorites. I can even go through and I could even export my plan to Excel. Maybe I want to send this out to one of my members of leadership or one of my district managers, and they just want to see it in an Excel format. If I click export plan to Excel, on the bottom, you're going to notice here's the name of my plan. If I open this up, it's actually going to open the plan up, and it takes the plan and puts it into a format in Excel where if I would like to, I could actually go into here, edit it, and format it within Excel and change my cells the way that they look. But all the info from the task name to the bucket name to the progress to who's it signed, all the info that was inside of Planner is now condensed inside this one document that I could email or maybe even add to a team and give to my boss or someone inside leadership that would like to take a look at that. So we're going to hop back into Planner. And then we have a couple of different options down here. And one of the most important ones is this, plan settings. So when you're building your plan, and as we said, these planner and plans are going to make your team communicate easier because they're able to assign tasks to each other. You also want to make sure that your group email settings, you want to make sure this checkbox is selected. Send an email to a group when a task is assigned or completed is very important. By default, this can be set by your administrator, but it won't always be set. And you want to make sure that that is set for you. So when you go in and you're creating these tasks, you are receiving emails. Now we could even filter. If I want to filter from my due or even my late, or maybe if I complete this right here, I could actually filter it for my completed tasks as well. So there's tons of different ways that you could actually filter what your tasks look like. I can even filter by assignments, and it will even show me what assignments are filtered by each individuals. I can click right here and even see my completed tasks. So underneath each bucket, as you complete your tasks, it actually shows under completed for you as we go through this, as you see there. So there's tons of ways of how you can organize this to work for your organization, number one, right? And number two, this is the portal view. I could even add this into Microsoft Teams and have a team view for this as well and attach this directly into your team. And it's not hard to do that. I'm actually going to walk you through on how to do that. So if we go into our office, we're going to go back to portal.office.com, and we're going to click on Teams. And we're going to load directly right into my team. We're going to close out of our PowerPoint. So just like we were looking at before, where you can add tabs, you could do the same thing for your planner. If I actually click on the plus right here, I can click on Planner, and I can create a brand new plan, but I want to look at the existing plans. I can see all my different existing plans that I've had before. I could click on my launch event plan, and I click Save, and it will literally connect that plan directly into my team, where now I have a team view of my planner. Everyone inside the general channel will be able to access that. And also, because it's connected to Microsoft Teams, it will automatically add everyone that's inside of that team to this planner when I add it that way. So now everyone that wasn't a member will now become a member of it as well. So if I click on the globe right here, I could actually open this planner up, and I could see that I also have a bunch of new members that have been added to this particular team for us and into this planner, because I attached it directly onto that Microsoft team as a tab. Now, there's even additional settings that you want to go through and just confirm that you have set up. So there's even notifications right here. If we click that, you want to make sure that this is set. This is a very important. It might be, it might not, depending on your administrator settings, but have Planner send me a notification when someone assigns a task to me. You want to make sure that's checked. And a task assigned to me is late due in the next 7 days, email only. You also want to make sure that's checked so you get additional notifications as you go through. Excuse me. And then this is also connected to different aspects inside of your team's application. I even have conversations where if I click on conversations right here, because Planner is part of your Outlook, and it's also part, right, of your Microsoft team, it's connected to your Outlook 365 group. The members will just show me the particular members in that group by opening up Outlook 365. And I can actually come in here. I can edit members. I can remove members if I want to. I could see all. I can even see what these members have access to, which are Teams, Notebook, Site, and Planner. And I can even copy the plan. So if I want to copy this plan to another team or to another planner, I can do that. And I could even change the option from going to public or private. So there's a bunch of different options that you can actually do in Planner to make your workflow easier for you and everyone inside of your company. Now, one of my other favorite things is adding a plan to Outlook Calendar. And that's right here at the bottom underneath your ellipsis. If we click that, what I can do is I can actually publish, and this will give me an iCalendar link. And you might say, well, what exactly is an iCalendar? Well, an iCalendar, you could add this onto your Outlook, which it even gives you the option to, and all of your tasks that you have directly onto your planner will show directly on an iCalendar on Outlook. So if I click Add to Outlook right here, it will open up a calendar. It's letting me know that it's going to subscribe from the web. I'm going to want to import this project in this calendar. I'm going to click Import. And now it will import my different projects onto my particular calendar. Now, here's the planner project. It will take a little bit time for that to sync, but once that does sync, I will have all my tasks on my Outlook calendar under other calendars, like right here on the left-hand side.
Hey, Frank.
Yes.
We had a couple of questions that have come in that I wasn't able to answer, and so I thought we might ask a couple of those. Would it be okay to ask them now?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Okay, wonderful. So the first was, if you create tasks, are they integrated with Microsoft To Do? We just covered how they can be integrated into Outlook. What about To Do?
So they are not currently right now. They are separate. To Do and Planner are not connected, but that is functionality that will be coming down the pipeline.
All right, excellent. And then the second question we have is, can you drag and drop tasks from one date to another?
So you can't drag and drop them from, I'm guessing he's saying from the schedule. So we'll look at our schedule real fast, and let's open up our bigger look right here. So say we go to our schedule. Not this one. Hang on one second. Let's add a new task. Excuse me for 1 second. Okay, here we go. So we need to make a task that's actually in this month because this was made a while ago. So June 20th. So can I drag and drop this from another date? The answer is yes, in the calendar view. And I could also do that on the board as well. I could drag and drop these in between my buckets. So if I want to make a new bucket here, like a project bucket, I can do that and I can move the tasks over just like that.
Excellent, thank you. And we also had a question earlier about notifications. So when someone updates a task, how are people notified? I know you talked about that some, and if maybe you could go into a little bit more detail about that.
Yep, so it will all be notified throughout email. That's how all your notifications are sent, directly through email. That's where you'll be able to see them. Currently, right now, it is not notified into Teams themselves, but I know that functionality is being built where once you do add a task, you will see it in your activity feed down the line.
Thanks, Ray.
Do we have any other particular questions that you'd like to go through? Anything from Q&A?
No, why don't you go ahead and get started right back up, and then as they come in, I'll continue to ask them if it's something that I can't answer.
Okay, cool.
All right, thank you.
Not a problem. So let's hop back into add a task because I just want to go through this a little bit more and just make sure everyone understands if there's any questions through this, because I think this is the most important thing, right? When you're adding a task. So we'll just name a task project and we'll set a due date. Let's set the 25th. Now this is very important. And this is something when I was showing you how to copy a task that I do want to go into, because this is going to come up as you build tasks out for either yourself or for different individuals in your team. If I add Adele and say, if I add Alex to this particular task and I click add a task, if Adele actually comes in here and she completes this task, it will also complete the task for Alex. So you might say, well, what's the sense of adding two different people for that task, right? If one person completes it and it completes for both. And that's why this is very important. You have checklist items. The idea is that you can add multiple people to one task, but the checklist allows you to assign each individual item for you to complete that goal to each person. So if I need, for this project, if I need Alex to get me updated yearly numbers, and if I need Adele weekly numbers, and I can assign that directly to them as I add their name, right? And I could, like I said before, actually show on card. Now they can go in and select their subtasks, like you see here. But you see when they complete their subtasks, it doesn't complete the full project task. So you have to determine how you want to do it. Do you want to use your checklist items, right? Do you want to utilize them as like subtasks and then assign multiple people to that task? Once those subtasks are completed, they're done. Or what you can do is say like this right here, where I have create a feedback form, and we'll choose a new date for this. We'll choose June 30th. So say if there's a similar task that maybe I need Adele and I need Alex to create a feedback form for me for work, right? What we can do is, like I showed earlier, I could actually go here and copy that task. And I could make sure, because I want to copy the date, maybe it's do the same date. And even if it's not, I could go back in and I could change that date. I don't want to keep the progress because the progress is different, right, for each individual, but the assignment's the same. Now I click click copy, and instead of remaking a whole new task, right, and going through and making a whole new task, now all I need to do is click on Adele's face. I could remove Adele from that. Oopsie. And now I can actually add on by going to assign, I could add Alex to that task. And now as you see, Alex is assigned to it. And I have two different tasks. They're the same task, but they're separate. So now if Adele completes hers by clicking the checkbox, it completes hers, and then Alex has his. So you just want to make sure when you're doing Planner that you understand the intricacies of how Planner works, because Planner does work in a little bit of a unique way, and making sure that you understand on how you can set up Planner in different ways. Because the checklist way might be fine if you're adding 5, 6, 7 people on and you feel like that's the way that you want to do it. But if you want to actually just break it up, and yeah, they might be completing the same task or the same aspect of it, but you don't want one person to complete the task for everyone, then this is a good way by doing it. You could make multiple tasks, assign them to different people, but instead of manually having to make every task, you can copy them. There's also a couple of different options under these ellipses as well. So I can delete a task. If I need to delete this, I can do that. I can undo quickly right here. As you see, it pops up and it lets me know that it's been recovered. Oop. 1 second. I could even get a link for that task. So maybe I want to send this to someone and I created a task, and for some reason I know they received an email, right? And I want to give them a link to the task. I could click copy link to task right here. It lets you know that it's copied it directly to your clipboard. And then I could just go in and I could send that in a message on Teams. And they'll, instead of bringing them directly into, say, like Planner where they have to log in, this is going to bring them directly to the task. And boom, it brings you right to the task. So there's no like, oh, I don't know, I didn't see it. It brings them right to the task, opens up the card, and all the information that you put in the card is ready for them to work on. And then as we go through, as we went through this a little bit before, there's also additional options that I just want to make sure that we cover, like the start date time. So I have a due date, but I also have a start date that I can change. So maybe I need them, this needs to be done by 6:30 and I need them to start working on the 22nd. I could also add a start date for that as well. And on the attachment, very important here, the link, you want to make sure that you're adding an HTTPS:// to your link as well. And the reason why you want to make sure why that S is there, and you see that in Teams and you see that all through a lot of different Microsoft applications, is it wants to make sure that that link is secure. So like say if I'm using Bing.com, it makes sure that I have that S there, right? It's already set there for me. And then also you want to give your link a name. You can call it Bing, but maybe it's a support website. You want to call it that. Ooh, you can call it that. And then you can click save. And as you see, it's now added a link. It grabbed the icon from there and they can click directly on it and go right to Bing or that support website or whatever that particular link is. So the cards are fully customizable and assignable, as well as giving you ability to add attachments all in one place, allows you to color code, right, all your tasks. So as you come through your tasks, maybe green tasks or office tasks, maybe yellow tasks or online tasks, you can go through all of that and color code it to what your needs are. Now, the next option you see where it says open in Microsoft Teams. And I can open this, say if I want to hop into Microsoft Teams and I'm in this planner view and I want to open it directly in there, I could click open in Teams. I'm going to say use the web app, but you would click open. If I click open right now, it will end my stream because it's going to open up my personal Teams. But I'm going to say use the web app instead. It's going to load me directly into Teams, and it's going to bring me right to the planner that is actually tabbed inside of that team. So now I could hop directly into Teams. They don't have to exit out of anything else. They have to stop what they were doing. It opens up a new window. So all the work that I was doing inside of the planner right here is actually saved for me. And then I also have my new tab that's right here as well. So there's tons of functionality of how it's connected and how Planner and Teams and all our Office 365 applications talk to each other. Do we have any additional questions on the Q&A?
let me look here. Okay, we had a question. Can an individual create their own planner plan without the system creating an O365 group?
So whenever you click a new plan, it's always going to make an O365 group, no matter what. But you can make a private plan and you could only say for me. So if I wanted to say tasks and this was just for me, right? I could do that as private and I don't need to invite anyone else to it. But because Planner is built upon O365, it's always going to make an O365 group because it needs to be able to communicate to teams and be able to easily create that team from that particular group.
Okay, excellent. And then second question is, can you do end of week / beginning of week reports of the active or completed plans?
Not currently, unless someone else knows of another way that you could do it. Currently, right now, there is not a way to set that. No.
Okay, thank you.
Let's actually hop into, and let's go. I want to actually go back over the navigation bar a little bit real fast, because now you see if it's changed. Now, when I go to Planner Hub, it shows me my favorite plans, the planners that I've been in, the tasks that I've completed, and also that I favored it. So when you favorite a plan, it's going to show favorite plans. It's also going to show on your left-hand side, but it also shows you your recent plans. And I can go up to any of these planners and I could favorite them, and they show up in my favorites on my left-hand side right here. It also, on the bottom left, it even tells you to get the Planner app. So I could enter my phone number, it will send me a link, and I could download the link. And why I love this is it will automatically figure out if you're using Android or iOS. After you put in your phone number, it will click it, and you don't have to do anything else. It'll automatically determine if it's an iOS or Android device and download from the App Store, bring you right to the App Store, and then lets you click install and download the app directly to your phone. It's wonderful. This is a great way to create adoption within your company. Obviously, if that's something that you want them to do, to have it on their phone, but it's another great way so you know that they're using Planner and utilizing it that way. Up top on your right-hand side, you're also going to have your notifications, which these will be for all your Planner notifications. As well, you'll also see notifications from M365 and all the different Office programs that you have here. And then to hop back, if you want to go directly into Planner, you can click on Planner right here. This will bring you back to your actual splash page. And then that's pretty much everything that I have to show on Planner today. If we have any additional Q&A, I could definitely go through that for you. But hopefully this was helpful to start you getting to use Planner in your organization. And please remember, reach out to Michael or anyone else here if you'd like to know more about our customer service trainings, where we could support you, our customer success training, support you and help you with these different applications inside your organization.
All right, excellent, Frank. So thank you so much. We do have a couple of more questions here.
Sure.
Let's see. If I create a plan and decide I don't need it and delete, will it remove the group?
So it doesn't remove the group. It'll keep the group. It'll just delete the plan, which is a good thing. So yes, it will keep the group there.
Okay. I know that some agencies are concerned about, doing my fingers in air quotes, group sprawl and getting too many groups. We have worked with agencies on how do you put in governance in place about group creation and making sure that we set up retention schedules and naming conventions. And you can put a naughty words list in to make sure that people aren't using inappropriate words in the names of their team sites or plans or groups, because those show up in the global address list, and we don't necessarily want naughty words showing up in our global address list. So we all need to be adults when we're creating these and use appropriate language. This is a work platform, but you'd be surprised. All right. Yeah. So let me bring back my slides.
No problem.
Second here.
Stop sharing my display for you.
Okay, so if you have not filled out the sign-in sheet and the evaluation, we would love to get your feedback. Again, you can hold up your smartphone and point it at that QR code on your screen, and it will pop open a window to the form, or you can just type in the URL down below, and that will take you to the form as well. We love to get feedback on what you're interested in, how are we doing, what could we do better, and what topics you would like to see in the future. I want to say thank you again to Brian Charles and Nate Vinsel with Red River. As I said, Red River is one of our Microsoft partners. They have been in Austin for quite a while. They used to be called Ambinair. Red River acquired Ambinair, and y'all might know Samuel Chen, who has been a real figurehead with Austin and the partner community. They have an Office 365 practice and are also a fast track partner. And so we just welcome you all to reach out to Red River about any of their services or additional things with certainly with Stream or any of the other Office 365 features or custom application development. I want to thank again also Frank and the store and the customer success training program. They do really great training, and appreciate him coming on to our community call today. Frank, is there a email address that we can use to give people so that they can reach out for the training program?
Definitely. You could actually use my email address, and I'll post it in the announcements.
Okay. Oh, and I see I'd asked that question to Paul Rodriguez, who is one of the store managers, and he said, or contact Frank directly. And so I will also post the, there's a general alias. Let me make an announcement and I will post that. So for Microsoft for training. This the training is included with your so there's no additional cost for the Microsoft Store training. Again, there's also the training that is going on. I went and checked the schedule. There are 2 more classes. There is a Intro to Teams and an Intermediate Teams class that are coming up on the 15th. Those are the last classes. So if you have not gotten a chance to attend, then please go and take a look at those classes. They are about 60 minutes long. And again, they are free to attend. And those are also certified instructors, very, very good instructors. With that, let me see. I've got one more slide here. So one of the topics that we've had a lot of interest in is the accessibility capabilities that are not only in Teams, but also throughout Office 365 and the Microsoft platform. And so I'm working right now with some groups inside of Microsoft, our accessibility groups. And so there is a lot of content, and we are planning on putting together an event or a series of events that are going to really highlight these capabilities. And we'll have people that are specialists in these tools and technologies that can help your organization create a more accessible environment, both through the applications and software that you are putting forth for them to use, as well as the publications that your agency creates or the videos that you create, but really take an accessibility first and accessibility integrated into all of your programs mindset. So we're very excited about bringing that to everyone here in our Texas Teams community. And so look for additional notifications about that. We are also last month in May, Jace Moreno spoke about Teams as a platform. And so we are planning on doing additional work on how to leverage Teams as a platform to drive efficiency in the workplace and potentially replace some of your legacy applications that might be a little long in the tooth, but there's just no budget to replace them, or make the processes that revolve around some of those legacy applications more efficient by creating some workflows and some automations. And so we'll look forward to bringing that to everyone in the future. And we'll send out an announcement about our July Texas Teams meeting. The Texas Teams meetings are always on the second Thursday of the month. And so if you can mark that on your calendar, we'll look forward to y'all attending. Again, thanks to all of our presenters. Thanks to the moderators who helped answer the questions, and thanks to all of you for attending. Hope you all have a great weekend, and I hope you're all staying safe and you're having a good time at home with your families working remotely. Thanks again, and everyone have a great evening. Signing off now.